Hey friends, it's that time. Let's go ahead and make some more fun things for your home this season. Today we are going to be making these super adorable heart wands. And yes, I'm talking all three, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's been such a challenge for me to hide these away from my little daughter because she caught an eye of it and she's been trying to steal them for the last week. So let's go ahead and get you making them so that my daughter can start playing with these. So let's go ahead and make these super cute little heart wands to decorate your little girl's room, or I mean, shoot, put these on your counter for Valentine's Day, am I right? All right, so first things first, I created these heart templates. This is just printed on freezer paper. I have another tutorial about how to make freezer paper stencils, which helps tremendously when cutting things out. I will also have this later. I'll let you know how to get it real easy, along with all of the supplies that I'm using today as well. Let's do a quick little recap of how to do freezer paper stencils. So this one I just cut out smaller. You're obviously gonna cut out all of them. You're gonna need 6 separate big hearts. You're gonna need a front and a back, but right now we're just gonna cut one out. You have a shiny side on your freezer paper and a matte side on your freezer paper. The matte side is what you print on. The shiny side is wax where you can actually iron on, and it kind of becomes like glue onto your felt so you can easily cut it out, and then it just peels right off. All right, I'm gonna get a piece of our pink felt here. I have another piece of felt down as my just kind of like a heat safe surface. I mean, if you were to iron on your mat, you could probably melt it. So this is just kind of gonna protect my mat. Throwing it down. I don't like waste, so I'm shoving it right at the corner there. Get your iron. This is set to the highest cotton setting, no steam. And all you do is you're just gonna kind of press it. And just make sure you're constantly moving your iron too. You don't want anything to burn. And just get it on there. And then you can kind of do a test. Wiggle it, make sure everything's adhering really well. And as you can see, like it's on there really well. And that's so incredibly helpful when it comes to cutting out. I have my handy dandy shears. I love these guys, especially on these long lines. You can just really like get a really nice clean cut on here. Follow the line and cut this bad boy out. And this is the exact same process on all 6 of your hearts. So we're doing a front and a back in 3 different colors. Now, if you're doing this at home all on your own, obviously you can do whatever colors you want. You can pick one of these patterns and just do the same thing. Like, how cute would these be at a little girl's birthday party as like centerpieces? So many possibilities. All right, now here is the freezer paper magic. So all you do is you go ahead and peel this bad boy off. Ta-da! Isn't it pretty? All right, so we're done with stencils. Throw that away. All right, so now we have our hearts. So pretend you have all 6 hearts. 2 for each heart, 1 for the front and 1 for the back. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on these flowers right here. So 2 of the heart wands have flowers. So let's get out of our pieces. All right, so these are all of the pieces that you're gonna need for the flowers. If you're making it at home, I did machine cut the rolled rose, a little daisy, and these little 4-petal flowers. These 3 are pretty easy to hand cut. This rolled rose, I mean, you can do it. You can definitely give it a little bit of squiggle and do a rolled flower similar to the other rolled flower that I'm gonna show you, but it definitely does help to have this machine cut. So this is just a rolled rose shape. And so we're gonna actually do this one first. Smush all this stuff aside. Get our handy glue gun. Spellbinders, by the way, is my favorite glue gun. So this is the cutout shape. This is a very popular die that Sizzix makes with the rolled flower. It's very easy to find still. It's the 3D flower, and you can easily find it on Amazon. I'll link it below as well so that you can find this exact die. It comes in this smaller version and then a larger version as well. We're gonna take this loosey-goosey end, and all we're gonna do is roll it on itself. To get it started, it's a little tricky, but just try to keep that beginning very, very tight, and then all you do is roll it. Super, super simple. The only thing that's challenging, especially on these small flowers, is literally just holding them is the biggest hurdle that you have to get past. So all we do is we just keep rolling it. I'm keeping a lot, like I'm really holding this, putting a lot of pressure on it. You want to keep the rolls as pretty tight because you don't want to unraveling on yourself. I only like adding glue at the end. If you add more glue around it because the flower is so small, you're just adding a lot of extra material that just makes it larger and bulkier. But at the end, we have the bottom here. And then I cover the whole bottom in glue, and that's what's kind of holding everything together. And then we just roll it and top that on top. And you have a cute little rose, little tiny rose. These are really cute on little headbands as well, by the way. So this one is a 4-point flower petal. So this would be really easy to hand cut as well. This piece is about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and all you would have to do is make 4 little lines in and then make 4 little curves. Super easy. All we're gonna do is throw a little bit of glue in the middle, tap that in, and kind of fold the petals up at the same time. And voila. So we're gonna make 2 of those. So in fact, on one of them, I actually trimmed the petals just because I felt like they were a little long, and I just gave them a little bit of a whoopty-whoopity curve. This is how easy it would be just to like hand cut something like that too. Oops, I don't like that corner. Like that. Super easy just to make the flower just a little bit more smaller and delicate. So the next one, actually let's do this one. So this is the rolled flower right here. It's just a very spirally looking kind of flower. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do, this is great with your big scissors. First we're gonna wanna make a circle. And we're gonna kind of cut out a square. This square is about 3 by 3 inches. The easiest way to make a circle is just literally focus on the corners and just round each corner. This does not have to be perfect. I'm sure you saw my square. It was not a perfect square at all. And that kind of gives it more variety when you're rolling it, so it's not perfect. Okay, so you have a circle. This is not a great circle, but that's okay. So now you're gonna kind of cut in and just work your way around in a circle. And you're kind of making a snail. I'm sure we all did this in little kid art class, right? Okay, see? That's all it is. And this is exactly like our other rolled rose basically, but it's just like a straight line instead of the scalloped edges. Oops, let's do that. So if you notice right here where I started, there's kind of a weird lump right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and trim off our lump there. And it just makes it more of like a snail spiral shape. That is a lot of S's to say, so say that 5 times fast. All right, so again, I'm gonna clip off this little nip right there to make it a straight line. Words are escaping me today. And we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the rolled rose and roll it. Super, super easy, guys, except for when your glue gun gets stuck in its base. I love the cordless glue gun, but sometimes it is a little cumbersome when it just kind of gets stuck. So I'm actually starting this off with a little bit of glue to start. I didn't do that with the rolled rose, but I am doing it here because it just kind of helps keep it tight, see? And then when you accidentally let go of it, you can keep on going and you don't lose all of it. So we're just gonna keep rolling this bad boy all the way around. And as you notice, as you get further out, it kind of starts to fan a little and make a nice, cute little fanned flower. Okay, so same thing as before. We have this little nubbin at the bottom. We're gonna put glue all over the bottom here. wrap it around as tight as it will go, and then use that little bottom circle as the cap on the bottom to hold it all together. There you go. Cute little rolled little flower. This would be fun to do with your daughters too, because they're very simple flowers. Should be very careful with the hot glue gun because it is hot. You could definitely get a low temp glue gun to keep fingers safe, because finger burns on the glue gun are not fun. Next little daisy we're gonna do is this shape. So this is a 6-petal shape. It's also about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. If you wanted to cut out a square, make 6 little notches in it and curve them, totally hand cut this on your own. But for this, I'm using a machine cut piece, and I will link this die below. A lot of dies do go out of stock very frequently, so hopefully you can get your hands on it, but if not, it's not too difficult to hand cut. I'm actually gonna have another video about very simple hand cutting and simple flowers that you can make at home, so check that out too. All right, so this one I'm nipping, goodness gracious, what is that, like not even 1/4 inch probably. That is like 1/8 of an inch almost in on this flower, just right at the valleys of the flower petals. Okay, so like so. I'm also gonna take this felt ball, cut it in half. By the way, if you're doing this at home all on your own, I sell all of the felt balls in my shop too, so you can definitely get a handle on them. They are not very expensive. I think I do them in packs of 25, so you can get plenty of felt balls, and they're like, I don't know, a few dollars. These ones I like to cut in half because it just makes the flower less bulky and big and more delicate. So I mean, that's even stretching your felt balls. Okay. So on this one, we're actually gonna put the ball in first. So I'm gonna put a little dab of glue in the middle, throw that on, and then we're gonna put a little dab of right next to the base of the ball on each petal and just fold it up. And this just makes it gives the flower dimension. Instead of it just being like a flat flower, this kind of makes it more domed, and it just like, look at that petal. Look how cute this petal looks compared to the other ones. So we're just gonna put a tiny bit of glue right at the base next to the felt ball and glue it. Try to put a very small amount, because if you do more, it'll smush out and then you'll see a ton of glue, and that's really annoying and gross, so nobody likes that. So really use a tiny bit, and that is another reason why I like these Spellbinders fine tip detail guns, because you can really control how much glue you're putting on, where like the bigger ones, they just kind of throw out a ton of glue. Oops, I didn't pinch that one long enough. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 at a time. All right, last petal. Ta-da, we have a cute little daisy. These would be fun to do in all different kind of colors too, and keep these ideas as far as when you go to do other felt projects, like, oh, I could just cut this flower real quick and throw that on there. So the next one we're gonna do is this little lavender piece. I do my lavender differently, so it's kind of like lavender, but or it's like a really small little stalk, or like a little lilac, like a mini tiny lilac, or this one's a little bit trickier, but very similar as the rolled ones as well. So this strip is 6 inches long by 3/4 of an inch. And we're gonna go ahead and put glue along one edge. Whoa, I am not doing a good job. It's all that coffee I just had, and I'm like getting the coffee shakes, which tells me my coffee is gone and I should probably go get more. We're just gonna fold and glue And since I did a bad job at gluing that, all my glue is coming out and I'm getting it on my fingers, which is not a big deal for me, but just be careful. This is the bottom of the flower, so don't worry about it if that does happen, but try to not suck as bad as I am right now. Okay, so we have that, and I'm just really making sure it is pushed down tight so that it is secure. And because I am a perfectionist, I am gonna cut off all the glue that kind of came out. So now we have our folded over strip. We're gonna go ahead and make little notches in it. So the first notch, I'm kind of going at it at a little bit of an angle. So I'm cutting one off all the way off to start my angle. And then I'm only going in about halfway down. You want to cut right above your glue line. You don't want it to go all the way through, as then you would have obviously a bunch of little strips pieces. What we want is just to go halfway through and make tiny little snips all the way up. And I'm doing this at just, you know, a real slight angle. Not a 45, maybe like a 36-degree angle. Look at me getting all technical. All right, and there you go. So, this is the part that is a little bit tricky on the hands and getting the motion correct. So essentially what we're doing is we're rolling this one, but instead of rolling it, you know, down the line, which this looks great too. You could totally make a flower just like this, but obviously this flower is different than what we're trying to accomplish. So in how to get the long stalk one, we have to roll it down on itself, basically. So this one you are gonna wanna glue as you go. So we're gonna put just a little bit of glue here to get started. And we're gonna glue right on another angle on itself. So let's see if you can see how, oops, glue down, buddy. When they get a little bit more bulkier, you do have to put a little bit more pressure on them. So I'm gluing it like almost at a 45-degree angle where I'm starting it right here. Sometimes it's good to just kind of like, it's like a dry fit where you kind of roll it first before you put glue down, just so you can kind of get the feel of it. So see how it's just kind of we're starting this off. So you have to make sure that you're not going too drastic or you're gonna have nothing to glue to, or too tight or it's gonna be too flat. So this is the part where you can kind of just like with your hand, do like a dry roll first, just so you can get the feel, and then unravel it. Okay, and put some glue on. I'm putting it straight down the middle. Don't put it too close to the edge because you're gonna have nothing to glue to, and too close to the top, you're gonna see it come out the top. So we're just gonna have roll, roll. So when I'm rolling, the bottom edge is what's catching the glue line. And that's kind of a good gauge on how, kind of like where your roll needs to land each time. Which is about halfway up. And we're just gonna keep rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. You could do this on a wire as well and do this for, you know, on your stemmed flowers. Exact same technique, but you have a wire in it. This one's just a loosey-goosey one. It will start to get bulkier at the bottom, and that's okay. Just keep following this bottom edge to the middle of your glue line, smack down in the middle, and it will make a nice little stalk like this. Okay, so to finish this guy off, we're gonna put glue right smack in the middle, a little glue here, roll this over, and kind of just pinch it closed. All right, so now, cute little lavender lilac stalk doodad. So if any glue kind of pops through, like, you know, it's okay, it's not perfect. Like right here, I got a little bit of glue here, so I'm just gonna snip it off so you can't see it. And because felt is so fibrous, like you can nip a little off and you're not gonna see it and notice. Ta-da, it's gone. Okay, then we're gonna find the best side. Like I like this side the best. That's gonna be our front. We're gonna grab a leaf, which I will show you how to hand cut this in a moment, and just kind of glue it right on the bottom. Just doing that. Throw that on the bottom. And pinch it. So that just finishes it off. Just a little flower. Alright, so let's make our leaves. So I've got these pieces, and these are 1.5 inches by 1.25 inches, a little under 1.25 inches. So for this leaf, you're gonna make it the full leaf shape. But for these little leaves, we're gonna make them a little bit smaller on the edge here. So to cut a leaf, you're gonna cut it right smack in the middle. So make kind of like a, just eyeball it right in the middle. And you're just gonna go out wide and then come back in. And the smoother your motion, I got a little jaggedy because I was going slow, but if you just really bring it in, you have a leaf shape. So we're gonna do that 4 times. Just gonna woo. So if you saw me, I did that one backwards. However your brain sees the leaf, that's fine. See, I'm leaving kind of like a line, a gap here. Like this is a flat gap and that's the pointy part. If you need to start from the top and do the pointy part first or come into the point, another way to do it is you can fold your leaf in half. So the folded side, this is gonna be your point, and this is gonna give you that like uniform shape where it's like, oh, well, that's perfect on each side. I'm gonna cut that a little bit tighter in the bottom though. So however you want to make leaves, go for it. And leaves are all organic and they all look different in nature. So for 3 of these leaves, we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on the bottom and pinch. And so if you notice, like this one looked kind of wonky, but like as soon as you put that glue and that pinch on there, you can't tell and it looks great. Same thing. I'm just going a little faster. I'm using my hand to kind of hold them while the glue sets it and glue at the same time. Just pinch hard. So we're gonna go ahead and set these aside and then work on the next element, which is the little sequins, and then we're gonna assemble everything and it's gonna look so pretty when it all comes together. Here are our 2 ivory hearts. We have the front and the back. We're gonna put the back aside for right now and we're gonna work just on the front. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is embroider on some super cute sequins, and that's how we're gonna get this one. I have a few different sequins here, and the first thing I like to do is kind of just do kind of like a dry fit and just like throw some on however I like them, and just any sort of pattern. Oh, that's really good. Grab one extra, throw one there. Some fun different colors. Oops, that is too over there. Let's do that. And how about some pink ones? And we'll call it good. So I'm doing it a little bit thicker on the bottom and kind of getting it a little bit like, it's like that ombre look where it's like a lot and then it just slowly gets less and less. Okay. Oh, you need a gold one, right? You need some gold. Yes. Do that. Throw one. Oh, there. Okay. So that's just like a general look of what I want to accomplish. I'm just gonna move that one over. It's not like, this is a kind of more like a really random design, so don't worry about it and just kind of move them around till you're happy, and then we are kind of gonna take them off anyways. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what you want in your head before you kind of start embroidering them. So actually, I wonder if I could leave them on. We're gonna try leaving them on, see what happens. Let's see if they stick while we embroider. So I have a little needle here. I have 3 strands threaded with embroidery floss. Embroidery floss comes in 6 threads, and I just literally rip 3 apart, cut off a chunk, and then separate 3 out. It just makes your thread not so thick, and it's just a little bit easier to work with too. So we're gonna tie a knot in the end. I think they're already gonna fall off. Yeah, it didn't work. So we're gonna grab our first sequin. Go ahead and come through. Thread on your sequin, pull tight, and then we're gonna come right at the edge of it. Don't go under it or it's gonna make your sequins kind of fan out. You wanna just go right next to the edge here and come through. And that's just gonna lock in your sequin. And then you're just gonna keep going with all your sequins. So let's grab a purple one right here. Oh, that one didn't have a hole in it. And keep going. Okay, so I didn't use all of them. Do what your heart feels right on your design. I just kind of went for it and I was just like, oh, this feels good. So this is my last one here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that, lock that one in. So we're gonna turn it over and we're just gonna find the nearest loop. Oops, not 2 loops, just 1 loop, and tie a knot in it. I'm doing a double knot. And then we're gonna trim. Boop. So that is that heart. Now, if you wanna do more sequins, less sequins, this is your project. So you get to decide how sequiny you want your heart one to be. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this one up, and then we're gonna kinda just slowly go through and finish the rest of them. So the reason why you need to do this first is so that we can lock in all of this stitching on the back. So this will be totally covered when we go to, this will all be covered when we sandwich it with our back piece. So we're going to get another piece of embroidery floss. This is about 25 inches long. I'm actually gonna take that off that. And we're gonna stitch all the way around this one. This is also 3 threads, so it's kind of nice. What I do is I do all 25 inches and then I cut, or I do 3 strands, so it's like cutting it in half basically. And then you just have the perfect lengths kind of already figured out. Okay, so I'm gonna tie a knot in the bottom. The easiest way that I've learned to tie knots is it's kind of like a French knot stitch, but on your finger. So you're gonna loop it around your finger a few times. I'm doing like 2, and then you're just gonna roll it off your finger and then pull tight, and it just makes a nice little knot. Sometimes when you knot it just like a regular knot, it's so thin that it'll actually go through your fabric and you're like, that's not helpful. But this way it's like, oh, that's a nice size knot, it's not coming through. So you're gonna grab your top piece and we're gonna start stitching our hearts all the way around. We're gonna do a running stitch all the way around. It's the easiest stitch that you can possibly do. So we're gonna come up, not at the bottom, but kind of near the bottom. And then now we are gonna smush this extra piece underneath. We're gonna sandwich them. You just wanna hide that knot inside of your heart, and that's why we're only going through 1 piece on the very first stitch. So now we're gonna do a running stitch, which is literally, you're gonna line these guys up. If you wanna pin it, go ahead and pin it all the way around, clip it all the way around, but I just hold it. Felt kind of sticks to felt too, so it's not too terrible as far as movement, but when we're doing a running stitch, we're just gonna go up and down. That's all it is. So all the way around, and it's just an up and down motion. Just try to space it. You can eyeball it as close as you can so that your stitch lengths are about the same. But also just do the best you can, and it's just an up and down with a little bit of room in between. Okay, so, voila, I've already made one. We're just gonna pretend like I stitched all the way around the heart. Like so. So I'm gonna get this as close as I can just to show you my stitch lengths and like the running stitch that's going all the way around the heart. So when you get all the way around, don't close your heart. Leave this much open because we need to stuff our heart and stick the dowel inside as well. So I still have it attached to my needle and thread, but it is completely open. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some polyfill. This is just like the cheap polyfill that I'm using here. They have much nicer polyfill that's like softer and wonderful and beautiful, but this is just the cheap stuff because this is not a pillow that you're gonna put your head on or anything like that, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm taking small chunks and just pushing it in with my finger. And then we're gonna push it first to each of the little heart lumpies area, whatever you want to call those. But I'm working with small amounts of fluff just to make it a little bit less wieldy, because it kind of does get a little slippery when you're working with it. So it depends on how rigid or thick you want them. I just kind of make them like soft little pillows feeling. So I'm not overstuffing it. You can make them as hard as a rock if you want and just like really cram the stuff in, but I'm just making them little soft pillows. So go ahead and just fill it until it's, you know, a nice little pillow size. Okay, we're gonna grab a dowel here and our handy dandy glue gun. And we're gonna open this up a little bit. I'm gonna just put a little bead of glue. I'm shoving my glue gun in as far as I can, and I'm just running a piece of glue that from about here all the way down straight to this point piece, and that's what's gonna really hold that, hold the dowel in. So I squeezed a lot and drug it through. And you gotta kind of work quickly. So I'm pushing that dowel all the way in and pushing down against the glue just to hold this dowel in place. Okay, so we have our dowel glued in, and we're gonna go ahead and close this heart. So we're gonna finish our running stitch. Oops, and don't stab yourself. And then keep going all the way to our dowel point. And then once we hit our dowel, we're just gonna go around the dowel. So right back in on the other side of the dowel. And so you are gonna have a bigger running stitch right here next to the dowel. That's totally fine. I'm gonna come back down. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my needle up in the very first stitch that we made. And we're gonna go ahead and just tie a little knot. So the way I am tying a knot is I am coming in the side here, grabbing one of our stitches, and putting our needle through that open loop and pulling tight. So I mean, it is just your basic knot. I am holding this funky. That is better. I'm gonna grab it, and I'm doing a double knot here. Like so. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, let me grab that here, is I'm gonna grab my needle, run it through the middle, and just come out wherever. here-ish. And this will hold your slack, thread inside your piece instead of it just kind of like accidentally working its way out. And then if you grab your scissors, push down and just do a little snip. Now your slack embroidery floss is stuck in your piece and it won't just kind of work its way out or, you know, make a problem on the outside. Okay, this is when the magic things start kind of coming together. So what I like to do on wands is I just like to put a felt ball at the bottom. This just kind of makes it a little bit safer at the end and just kind of, you know, gives it more of a complete vibe here. All you're gonna do is cut a little snip in the ball. Ah! And watch your ball run away. Thank you, handy cameraman. Okay, so you've got a little slit in here now. Gonna grab our glue gun, some more glue. In there, buddy. Throw it right in the middle. Throw our dowel right in there and just kind of hold it tight and closed so it just kind of closes up. So I'm actually also putting some glue on the sides because it just to kind of cover up your cut lines and just squeezing it shut. So this will hold your wand there at the bottom. So with some extra glue, we're just gonna throw our glue gun around and trim it. So now you just have a complete piece here. Okay, this is the fun part where we are gonna glue on all of our flowers. So for this pink one, we are doing the little lavender, our rolled rose, and our 4-pointed flower. We're gonna get another leaf too. Okay, so anytime you're gluing flowers on, I like to kind of just do like a dry fitting first. We're gonna, you know, throw him here, this guy there, him here, and throw a little leaf right there. So just wanna like throw it on there without any glue, just so that you can your brain just needs to visualize it first. So that way when you take everything off and put it back on, you know exactly where it's going. So we're gonna start with this one because this is kind of on the bottom here. And I am just putting a good line of glue right on my heart. And really pressing this down. I'm putting it all the way to the top just so that it stays on there. You don't want it to get accidentally whacked off or anything. You don't want it to get ripped off by any on accident. So now we're gonna get our rolled flower, and this time I'm actually gonna put the glue here just so we know exactly where we wanna place it. Be careful of the hot glue. Just push it down. And the same thing with this one. We're gonna tuck it into this little point here. Just really shove it down in there. And the more you kind of shove it in there, it's gonna push the petals up too to make them more, you know, fun and open. We're gonna get our leaf now. Throw some glue on him. And just really shove him in between those two flowers. So, ta-da! I mean, how easy was that? It was super easy, right? Okay, you got a cute little heart wand. So that is completing this wand. We already have this wand that's fully complete because we've already did the sequins. We closed it up and filled it. Now we're gonna go ahead and finish this one. So I put some sequins on it exactly the same way as I did the fully sequined wand. And this one, I went ahead and dry fitted it first as well. So for instance, before I put the sequins on, I threw some flowers on here, how I wanted them. That way I knew, okay, I want the sequins kind of here-ish. That way you can just kind of see, oh, okay, that's perfect. That's my sequin placement. And then I stitched those on ahead of time, stitched the running stitch, stuffed it the exact same way as the other ones, and then went from there. Okay. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna glue these bad boys on. So I'm gonna put him here. And throw our flower. Oops, our glue is not getting on there very well. Put that guy there. And this is why on this flower I just trimmed the petals a little bit more than the other one. 2 reasons. 1, so it's not the exact same flower, essentially. And 2, because these flowers were a little bit smaller, I just wanted it a little bit more delicate. So we've got that going, and now we're gonna shove our leaves in here. So I'm dry fitting these first too, but just because it's nice to just have a good idea. You're like, I like that, because once you throw the glue on it, you're done. It's not coming off, or you can rip it off, but then it's just not gonna look great. So we're gonna go ahead and shove these in the corners. I'm gonna throw one more right here. They're gonna call it good. Just I'm kind of like moving, smushing my flowers over to get it really in there, and then I'm gonna smush them right back on top. So, ta-da! So that is our third wand. So the next bit of magic we're gonna do, last things last, is we're gonna get some different yarn, ribbon, whatever I've used scrap fabric. This one, for instance, has a chiffon ribbon, it's some yarn. This one's got some nice fluffy gold yarn. But we are going to cut some pieces of yarn, and if they're folded in half, I like to do a few inches past the piece, because you want it to like hang and flow and be more whimsical. So I have some velvet ribbon here that I cut a little bit longer, and all we're gonna do is just tie a sweet little knot at the top. Now, if things start shifting and moving with this stuff, with all your, whatever you're tying on here, you can totally put a dab of glue on it at the top to just keep it in place. I typically don't like doing that. I don't know, it just makes it nice and whimsy when they're kind of loosey-goosey. So the velvet ribbon I tied on its own because that's just a bulkier ribbon. The yarns I'm just tying together because you can. So this one's a little bit longer, so I'm gonna just trim that guy and just put some cute little yarn on it. And you can just match the colors of whatever you're doing. Use totally different organic materials. So just like, it's just fun and different. All right guys, so we are all finished. I hope you had so much fun making all your heart ones. And I can't wait to see your different versions of them and how you can come up with just different ideas and different color schemes and different ribbons just to make them unique to yourself. So now if you wanna go ahead and make all of these at home, but without the hustle and bustle of figuring out all the supplies and sourcing everything, I've got you handled, because in my shop, link below, I have a full kit that you could buy all of the materials for this. I'm talking the dowels, the felt, the sequins, the embroidery floss, everything you possibly need to make this exact kit at home. Go ahead and hit that link below and find it in my shop. Also, hit that subscribe and the like button, because, I mean, come on, you loved this tutorial, I'm sure, because you're here talking to me at the end. So I want to show you more tutorials. So I need you to hit that bell so that you know the next time my next tutorial is coming up. So I've got lots of fun things planned, and then they're coming. So all of the supplies are below as well. So if you want to just source your own felt, if you want to just buy a digital copy of the heart template, all that stuff's going to be in my shop link below as well. Thanks guys, catch you next time.